The toxic atmosphere of Nexus 7 burned through Lara's respirator faster than expected. 3 days the device was rated for. It had lasted barely one. Now, as the crimson sun dipped below the jagged horizon, the young Verini female huddled inside the wreckage of her escape pod, each shallow breath bringing the acrid air deeper into her lungs. She had been abandoned here deliberately. The crew of the research vessel claimed it was a punishment for her insubordination. In reality, she had refused the captain's advances. The punishment was death, a slow one on this desolate planet categorized as extreme hazard in the Galactic Federation Registry. The creatures that stalked Nexus 7 were the stuff of nightmares. Massive, armor-plated predators with multiple rows of teeth and sensory organs evolved to detect the faintest traces of life. During her first night, Lyra had watched from her hiding spot as something with too many limbs tore apart a creature twice its size. The predators here didn't just kill to eat, they seemed to enjoy it. A scraping sound outside the pod made her freeze. Something was testing the integrity of her shelter. Lyra clutched the small utility knife, her only weapon, and prepared for the inevitable. The hull creaked as enormous pressure was applied from outside. Then came a sound she wasn't expecting, rapid, percussive bursts that echoed across the valley. The pressure on the hull immediately ceased, followed by an inhuman shriek of pain. More of those strange bursts, then silence. "Hello? Anyone alive in there?" The voice was deep, speaking Galactic Standard with an accent she'd never heard before. Lyra remained silent, suspicious. No sentient species was native to Nexus 7. This could be a hallucination brought on by oxygen deprivation. Metal groaned as something pried open the emergency hatch. Light flooded in, temporarily blinding her. When her vision cleared, Lyra found herself staring at a bulky environmental suit unlike any Federation design. 2 arms, 2 legs, a bipedal species. The helmet visor was tinted, concealing the face within. "You're in rough shape," the figure said, scanning her with a handheld device. "Atmospheric poisoning, here." The stranger extended an emergency respirator. Federation-made, but modified with unfamiliar components. Desperate, Lyra accepted it and took a cautious breath. Clean air filled her lungs, and she almost wept with relief. "I'm Tom," the figure said, removing his helmet to reveal a hairless face with rounded features and a surprising lack of protective scales. "Human survey scout. My ship detected your pod's crash beacon." Human. Lyra had heard rumors about this species, a newcomer to the galactic community, barely a century since their first FTL flight. Physically unimpressive compared to most Federation races, lacking natural armor or enhanced senses. Yet they had expanded rapidly, establishing colonies on worlds other species deemed uninhabitable. Lyra, she managed between labored breaths. Verini science officer. "They left me here to die." "Well, that's not happening on my watch," Tom replied. "But we need to move. That razorback I shot wasn't alone, and the blood will attract others. Can you walk?" She couldn't, as it turned out. Without comment, the human lifted her, all 60 kilograms of her dense Verini frame, and carried her through the alien landscape. The ease with which he managed this surprised her. For a species without exoskeletons, humans were stronger than they appeared. Tom's survey ship was small, but immaculately maintained. As he administered emergency medical treatment, Lyra learned that humans had a peculiar approach to galactic exploration. While Federation protocols mandated extensive robotic surveys before any manned mission, humans preferred to get boots on the ground early. "You mean you landed on this death world voluntarily?" Lyra asked incredulously as Tom dressed a wound on her arm. He shrugged. "Nexus 7 has valuable mineral deposits. Extreme environments are kind of our specialty." During her recovery over the next days, Lyra observed Tom's routine. He ventured out daily to collect samples, mapping the terrain and cataloging the nightmarish fauna. The creatures that terrified her seemed to fascinate him. Once he returned to the ship laughing, having narrowly escaped what he called the most beautiful predator I've ever seen. "Your species is insane," she told him one evening. "We prefer adaptable," he replied with a smile. Earth throws some nasty challenges at you when you're evolving without natural weapons or armor. We compensated with curiosity and persistence. When Lyra was strong enough, Tom helped her send a distress signal to the nearest Varini outpost. Her testimony would ensure the research vessel's captain faced justice. As they waited for rescue, Tom taught her human survival techniques. In return, she shared Varini's scientific knowledge. They developed an unexpected friendship despite their profound biological differences. On the day the Varini rescue ship arrived, Lyra found herself reluctant to leave. "What will you do now?" she asked. Tom gestured to the hostile landscape beyond the view screen. "Keep exploring. There's a whole planet out there waiting to be understood." "You could die here," she said softly. "I could die anywhere," he replied. "Might as well be while discovering something new." Lyra took her place aboard the rescue vessel, watching as the humans' tiny ship vanished over the horizon, a lone explorer on a world that had evolved specifically to kill anything that lived. An average specimen of his kind, doing what apparently came naturally to humans, surviving the unsurvivable, thriving where others perished. Years later, when humans petitioned for full Federation membership, Lyra spoke passionately in their favor. She told her story to the Galactic Council, describing the species that faced monstrous creatures not with fear or force, but with curiosity and respect, and in doing so, made the universe just a little less terrifying for everyone else.